Next on Paranormal, Caught on Camera. A realtor in Japan discovers that a house is already occupied by a ghost.
We don't know who this spirit is. Perhaps it's a former resident who used to live in this home.
A man in England showing off his pet fish.
My guy's got some new fish.
Accidentally captures 2 phantom fingers.
What the?
I just couldn't explain it. There was a hand at the back of the fish tank.
A family party in Colombia is crashed by the spirit of a mysterious child.
No one saw the ghost, no one heard something or feel something, nothing.
And even more paranormal footage you have to see
Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens.
to believe.
Yeah, I just thought I'd record to just try and like catch any. Hell, man.
Secondhand shopping has a number of real-world benefits. But before you get too excited to bring home that shiny used object, it might be best to ask yourself just how much you truly know about it. Where is it from? Who were the previous owners? Or, if you're anything like one man in England who brought home a secondhand piece of equipment for his brand new fish, who or what might still be attached to it?
What the?
Spring 2022, in Leicester, England. Ferris Morgan is filming his new fish tank, intending to post the video on social media, when he notices something unexpected and unsettling. Watch closely.
My guy's got some new fish. There's currently 2 black ones, 2 gold ones. I've called them Goldie, Goldie number 2. If you guys have any suggestions for names that... What the f... What the f...
Did you see it? Watch again. As Ferris records his fish, on the outside of the top right corner of the tank, 2 fingers of a hand, seemingly pressed up against the glass, that disappear completely as soon as Ferris notices.
What the f...
I'm Gavin Ferris Morgan, and these are my videos. I didn't immediately understand what I was looking at, but I knew it didn't belong in the fish tank. After seeing it was a hand, I was a bit afraid. Because I don't like things when they don't make sense to me. And all I knew was there was nobody in the house. I was by myself, all the windows and doors were locked, and I just couldn't explain it. There was a hand at the back of the fish tank. It just seemed to disappear in front of my eyes. That's the thing that worried me. That nothing happened until I faced it directly and it just vanished. When I got up to look around to see if somebody was there, as the seconds went by, I felt my stomach drop. There was this unmistakable feeling of fear that started, in the pit of your stomach. And the more I looked around and the more I saw that the house was secure, the worse that feeling got.
First couple times I watched the video, I didn't see anything supposedly paranormal in it at all. But then all of a sudden, when you do notice what's going on, it's kind of shocking and sent a chill down my spine.
Sometimes things will manifest and look as solid as you and me, but only has the power to manifest like very specific little things. And in this case, just seeing like a couple of fingers just randomly there, that's so bizarre.
Bizarre and terrifying, made even more so by what it could mean.
It is believed in the paranormal field that when you see the phantom hand, that it's almost an omen, if you will. A lot of people view it as an omen when you see something like that. Something is kind of reaching, aka coming for you, something is approaching, something's trying to connect, and some people actually believe something's trying to inhabit you.
And that something may have shown up a few weeks later.
I'm home alone. I've been hearing like occasional like banging noises every few days. It's quite late at night. It's like about 1 a.m. now. Yeah, I just thought I'd record to just try and like catch any. Hell, man.
The second video is when things were getting pretty bad in the house. And you can hear somebody running downstairs at me. I was very afraid because this is something completely new to me.
Hell, man.
You know, I always tell people that feel that their house is haunted, it might be a good idea if you can identify certain objects that you might have brought in recently where the activities seem to start. There's typically some sort of an attachment to that.
Regarding that, Ferris could only think of one thing.
I don't know much about the fish tank I bought, just saw it online, secondhand, came with the fish. It was a really good deal, got it, didn't think much about it. So I don't know if there's any kind of history linked with the fish tank. I mean, I've sold it now. I sold it like about a year and a half ago because I was just very uneasy around it.
A lot of people will do that. If they feel that there might be some attachment to it, you don't know the history of it, get rid of it and let's see if the activity stops.
So, did the activity stop? The answer is complicated.
I do feel less uneasy now that the fish tank's gone, but activity still happens now and again in the house. But the more I discussed it with friends and family, the more situations starts happening in the house. For example, you'd start hearing noises, footsteps, tapping, some scratching. That would keep happening in the house. And the more I acknowledged it, I realized, I started putting a pattern together that whatever this was, did not like it.
What the
It really does appear that there is a sort of reciprocal awareness that takes place that builds this sense of cumulative energies. And it's really kind of a mixed bag of options. You can pay more attention and risk getting more attention, or you can try and ignore it and risk missing the tipping point when things get really bad.
For Ferris, the choice is clear.
Right now, I think it's important to show whatever it is that this is my house. This is our house. And the best thing I could do is just stop acknowledging it and learn to live with it in the most peaceful way as possible.
hell, man.
Coming up, is this paranormal investigator at an abandoned school spied on by one of its long-dead students? The mid-19th century saw the dawn of the Victorian era in England, and with it, the growth of the spiritualist movement, with Queen Victoria herself allegedly participating in seances as early as 1846. Today, while spiritualism is not quite as mainstream as it once was, many of the buildings that were rumored to play host to those seances still stand. And if one paranormal investigator's recent footage is any indication, the entities believed to be conjured in those buildings over a century ago could very much still be lurking. January 2025, in Sussex, England. A paranormal investigator named Alex and his colleague Tony are exploring an abandoned building known for its allegedly sordid past.
We're going to try and be very quiet. It's
freezing cold outside.
My name's Alex, and this is my video. The owners was into quite a lot of strange things back in the early 1900s. They used to dabble in making seances, communicating with the dead. And what people reckon is that they've conjured something not from this world to that location.
So we did hear from a friend of ours, a source, that they had paranormal activity in here.
And it was converted into a school. And there's reports of children being terrified, to be honest with you. So eventually they had to close the school down because it was getting so much paranormal activity, ghost sightings, and the family didn't want to send their children to the school.
Just gotta be quiet.
Eager to see if that terrifying activity still exists.
Are you here with us?
The duo break out their EMF meters,
Are you the spirit of this place?
which appear to register something very quickly.
If you're a friend, can you flash your device to red? Let's flash to red. Straight away on command.
Anything that lights up
It's going nuts.
or makes a sound, and you usually use it as like maybe a scanning tool, when you repurpose it for a call and response item, you gotta always look at timing. If nothing is happening, and in this moment I ask you something, and this thing reacts in that exact moment.
Are you trying to warn us?
Come on now.
Well, you're a student here. Teacher, maybe?
You don't know what you're dealing with. It could be a child, it could be another human like us who had a soul and had a life like us. So for me, it's very important to be respectful to the spirit.
Whatever it is, given the sheer amount of activity happening inside the building, it appears eager to make contact, which becomes all too apparent just a short while later.
Did you hear that though?
Yeah.
Watch very closely.
Yeah.
Did you catch it? Watch again, zoomed in and in slow motion. Just as Alex enters a downstairs room, a dark, shapeless figure seems to emerge from the wall before retreating back into the void. Alex doesn't see it during the investigation, but when reviewing his footage at home,
I just got complete goosebumps. I just felt on edge. I kept looking behind me. Even though I was in my own safe place, I was just like, wow, that is just crazy, completely crazy. And it just left me completely shocked.
You see something small, it's solid in mass, black. It appears to be a head peeking around the corner, as if it's watching them, anticipating that they're coming this way, and then it just kind of retracts, and to me, it's almost like it goes into the wall, not necessarily around the corner.
Now you could say, well, it's caused by maybe the onboard light to their camera or a flashlight. But typically as you're moving, a shadow like that will start to elongate or shift as you're changing the angle of the light, that's approaching. And this doesn't.
The shadowy figure doesn't really appear to be a full-fledged spirit person or a shadow figure, in that it appears sort of small and frail, almost like a small child, yet it doesn't have any of the features that would distinguish it as a child.
and if you ask Alex, there's a reason for that.
I don't think it's a child at all. I think it's something conjured there, and it resides there. Just from the history of that place, the family conjuring up evil there, for me, it's not a child.
Considering the building's alleged past, a valid presumption. But it may not be as simple as that.
I always advise against labeling anything as automatically dark, especially something like a shadow figure, because we don't ultimately know what we're dealing with here. Is it trying to present itself in a shadow form, or is that merely how we are perceiving it because of some limited visual acuity on our part?
We may never know. But one thing Alex knows for sure is that the building is extraordinary.
I believe the stories are true. It's definitely an active location. And I believe that it's not a place to visit.
Coming up, a realtor recording a house listing for social media is watched by a ghostly resident. In the West, the paranormal is a subject typically approached with a good degree of fear. But a bit farther east, like say, in Japan, there is a long history of ghosts, or yurei, being in direct contact with the living, and revered as just another being that shares not only our earthly plane, but even our homes, where many have altars for their deceased loved ones, to honor and thank them for their protection. A cultural acceptance that may be the catalyst for paranormal captures, like this one. July 2024, in Fukuoka, Japan. Realtor Anthony Smith Nels is recording a house tour of one of his on-the-market properties, intending to share the video on his social media page. But what he doesn't realize is that the house isn't completely empty.
My name's Anthony, and this is my video. That day, I was looking at a particular older home in Japan. Especially in the big city, you don't see too many older homes anymore. And so I wanted to check it out because of that. But the entire time from when I entered to I left, you had that like feeling of pressure, something a little creepy, which I've been in these older houses before. And, there's times where you're like, I just want to get out of here. Once I did my walk around, I began filming. I didn't notice anything until after I got home and was checking over my film.
And what he notices is utterly bizarre. Watch closely. Did you catch it? Watch again, in slow motion. As the camera sweeps the room, a dark, stalking figure can be seen behind one of the frosted windows, before seeming to disappear right before Anthony walks into the room.
You're trying to, rationalize something, right? It's like, oh, is that my reflection in the mirror? But then if you examine it more, there's a shadow. And you go around the corner and there's nothing there. And again, it goes back to like rationalizing. You're like, was someone in the house with me? Or, what is this?
If you look closely, before you see anything standing behind this divider, it looks like a shadow passes across the floor from right to left. So when he finally settles on where it looks like a human figure is behind the divider, it's already in place. Then he pans further to the left and comes back and it's gone. So that's still very, very quick for a real life person to hoax him, let's say, come in, stand there, and then leave. So it's very, very odd.
Not only is there nobody there, there's no place for a person to go. He even looks out the window and shows the yard around the building outside, and nobody's out there either.
And it seems to be so overgrown that if someone were there or had just been there, you would have seen a disturbance pattern. We didn't see that now.
So, if this is a ghost, why here? And why now? And could it have anything to do with the house being on the market.
This realtor who's taking this video, he's just going to a property, taking a video for people to see. That could be seen by a spirit as a potential trespass. We don't know who this spirit is. Perhaps it's a former resident who used to live in this home. Now a stranger comes in, opening every door, opening closets, kind of tramping around there, knocking things around. I think that spirit could be saying, hey, I'm watching you, I'm here. I believed it wanted to be seen. I think that's exactly why it stood where it stood, and I think it was keeping an eye on this creator who's going around this property filming.
Anthony is unsure if the house ever sold, or if the spirit ever made another appearance. But given Japan's attitude toward the paranormal, neither would be surprising.
There's so many ghost stories, and even as a child, we'd be told ghost stories all the time. So it's definitely, open here about, spirits.
An attitude that, after this experience, Anthony is trying to emulate.
I am definitely more aware, I try to be more aware of the space, and I check my film more often. I don't have any other choice.
Coming up, a woman filming a family dinner
Ya estamos aquí en la merienda.
accidentally captures a childlike specter. Family gatherings for special occasions often create an undeniable concentration of energy. And that energy can be intense. Whether it's in the form of peace, happiness, or even anger. And it's not only felt by those in the room, but also perhaps by those who are no longer with us. Because some believe it's this kind of energy that spirits use to manifest. And one woman in Colombia may have captured proof.
Usted le va a tomar la foto a los...
December 2024, Piedecuesta, Colombia. Dara Acevedo has invited some family members over to eat and check out the new apartment that she and her husband recently moved into.
Ya estamos aquí en la merienda.
Recording the event for posterity.
Tamalito con chocolate, queso, pan y mantecadita. Buen provecho para todos. Marta, siente... no.
But when she reviews the footage later that night, she spots a guest she was unaware of. Watch closely.
Usted le va a tomar la foto a los...
Did you see it? Watch again, in slow motion. Right after a dog walks under the table, a small, nearly transparent figure runs past the camera.
Usted le va a tomar la foto a los...
Hello, my name is Christian, and this is my mom, Dara. She was the one who taped the video.
I watched the video, and I saw like a male child, a female child walking through. And so I sent it to my son because he wasn't there. And I asked him, what did he see there? If he saw anything there, like some kind of child. It's strange because we were alone. There were no children here.
When Christian watches the video, he too is stunned. And later, films the dining room area.
Es aquí donde ocurre el evento.
To show that it's not even possible for anyone to fit through that space.
Estaban diciendo que el niño sale debajo del mesón, pero es imposible. Aquí les muestro desde otro ángulo.
So then, what did Dara capture on camera that day?
Usted le va a tomar la foto a los...
It's wild because like it doesn't look like it's between the table and the counter. It actually looks like it comes like through the counter. And also, nobody else acknowledged it. So it's like, why are we seeing it but nobody else is seeing it?
No one saw the ghost at the moment of the events. No one heard something or feel something, nothing.
One of the things that struck me about this video is that this figure passes by at sort of a surreal speed. A normal child would not pass by the camera that quickly.
Usted le va a tomar la foto a los.
Further, when we start slowing down the video, and this is what I find the most interesting, the figure becomes transparent. Because it's so transparent, it's very hard to even make out any kind of human-like features once you go frame by frame. So then my question becomes, well, what is this?
It definitely looked like a child's spirit, for sure. But the tricky thing about spirits, you never know what type of form they are taking on. So one would hope that's a little Timmy, but that also could be Big Tummy. Another spirit that could be taking the form of a child.
And whether big or small, the mysterious figure Dara captured on camera is only a piece of the puzzle. For the past 6 months, her husband, Christian's father, has been experiencing unexplained events as well, prompting Christian to move in with his parents.
I'm living here right now temporary because my father, he has nightmares, he has visions, but it's only him. He feels that someone or something touches in the night.
I'm not surprised to hear that Christian's dad has had a few months of having things like nightmares. To me, that would suggest that he's probably a little more sensitive than he would give himself credit for, and that on some sixth sense, and I mean that in an instinctual way, he's picking up on something in this space is off. And now that we have this video, to me, it could corroborate some of his personal subjective experiences.
Whatever the reason for the entity's appearance, Christian is hoping to one day capture more tangible evidence.
I bought a camera with night vision and I'm starting recording since then, but I haven't recorded anything. I would like to have something because I actually believe in ghosts and spirits.
Usted le va a tomar la foto a los.
Coming up, did twin brothers in Georgia
sending it.
capture audio evidence of underground cryptids in an abandoned mine? In 1923, the United States coal mining industry peaked, employing over 883,000 Americans. But by 2018, that number had shrunk to only 53,000 workers, leading to the abandonment of over 500,000 mines across the country, many of which are still very much intact. But if you ever find yourself wanting to explore one of these places, heed the warning of two brothers in Georgia who discovered an old mine ventilation pipe in the middle of nowhere and may have woken something up that would best have been left alone. May 2024, in the woods of northern Georgia. Cave explorers Edward and James Robinson are returning to a mine ventilation pipe they discovered 3 years earlier while filming a segment for their popular internet channel.
We're back at the mystery pipe.
And while their first exploration, though interesting, didn't reveal anything of great consequence,
Sending it.
for this visit, the twin brothers upped their technical game with a more powerful light attached to their camera, hoping to record something a bit more exciting the second time around. "200 feet later, the camera lands in the mine and records. For a full 5 minutes, before the twins pull it back up. When the two go home to see what they've captured,
We're gonna watch the footage now.
the video itself, while claustrophobic and creepy, is not so different from the first time they filmed down the pipe. But the audio it records is stunning. Listen closely to what is initially the sound of running water 200 feet below the surface of the earth. And then something, apparently breathing, followed by what sounds like footsteps, before finally movement, seemingly very close to the camera. Edward and James are totally freaked out.
I'm Edward Robinson, and this is our video. The moment we got back to our laptop at our house, that's when we said we're never coming back here again, because there's something breathing down there. We just kept listening, and we thought it went away. And that's when we heard way in the background something kick rocks, and it sounded like a pretty big rock too. We just kept thinking these creatures were gonna come out at us. We didn't catch it on camera. We could only hear the sounds, but we just really don't want to find out.
This was a tense one for me. As that camera is being lowered down the pipe, I switched into horror nerd mode, and I felt like we were about to enter the monster's lair. And based on the sounds that were captured, maybe we did.
There is obviously something down there. And now I spent a long time totally freaking myself out listening at max volume to these sounds. And going back and forth between it's water dropping, sounding like someone is moving around. It could be rocks that are being moved by maybe an underground stream or something like that, and the rocks tumbling over each other is making this sound. Except for the breathing. The breathing sound was so audible, and it moved in and out. That sounded like a living thing approaching this camera, maybe examining it, breathing heavily, and then moving off.
When they're pulling the camera back up, I half expected something to chase the camera on the way out. I felt like every movie when you're fleeing the monster from the depths. We're about to get out, but it's gaining on us.
We both just said we are not going back there yet. We don't want to disturb whatever's down there. And it just kind of freaks us out.
But what on earth could they possibly be disturbing?
Across folklore, we have endless stories of creatures living underground. Trolls, gnomes, Tommyknockers.
Areas in Kentucky and Georgia talk about these different people that had materialized or come out of nowhere that seem to be living underground. And their skin color in some of these cases have been talked about being green or blue, almost as if they are adapting to an environment that is of low light or no light whatsoever.
You never know what could be living underneath there that's over time evolved to be able to survive under the earth.
Whatever it was, paranormal or otherwise, Edward and James have no plans to find out. But it hasn't dampened their enthusiasm for the unknown.
We gotta see what's around the corner. Even if it freaks us out a little bit, we don't know what we're gonna see. We push around it anyway. That's just kind of what we do.
Coming up, a couple in Canada are blown away.
We're looking at something here. I don't know what that is.
By 4 bright lights over a river.
Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens.
Seeing a UFO can trigger a slew of reactions. From the exciting prospect of meeting an extraterrestrial being to the fear of an oncoming war of the worlds. But within these extremes lays something much simpler, yet perhaps even more awe-inspiring. The profound realization that we are not alone. Just ask one couple in Canada whose nighttime drive along the Winnipeg River led to a roadside revelation.
Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens. For real.
May 13th, 2024, in Fort Alexander, Canada. It's around 10 p.m., and Justin Stevenson and his wife Danielle are driving along the Winnipeg River when they spot something so bizarre that they feel compelled to pull over and start recording.
We're looking at something here. I don't know what that is.
It's 2 flickering orange orbs hovering above the water, illuminating the night sky and stumping Justin and Danielle.
We're on the North Shore. We're trying to figure out what that is.
The lights are extremely bright. They're like 2 small suns on the horizon. They seem much brighter than the lights of any plane or helicopter, certainly that I've ever seen.
There's fire in the sky or something, or what? Are they going farther away, or is that any closer?
At first, you're kind of thinking, okay, could that be like a foundry or something industrial? Is it burning some gas? Is that just kind of what we're seeing? Maybe the heat signature, the wave, the distance, some haze over the water could explain it? But then no, not at all, because these 2 flames are actually moving. One goes up way higher than the other, one kind of crosses over. So clearly it's not industrial, it's not a man-made thing that is doing this.
And though the image itself is profoundly startling, it's the sound, or lack thereof, that's perhaps most unsettling.
We are familiar, just sort of in contemporary life, that things that make bright lights often make loud noises. Thunder, lightning, helicopters, airplanes. We know to correlate big, bright lights in the sky with the sounds that they make. And the fact that these were present for so long, totally silent, really highlights that uncanny feeling here.
Looks like it's going away. 2 bright lights way above the tree line.
And if you're thinking this could just be a trick of the setting sun,
look, there's another one there. What the is that?
Think again.
We see another 2 seemingly materialize out of thin air. And these are gigantic. They look like giant suns.
The scene really does look like something out of a science fiction movie, as if the aliens have just, for the first time, entered our atmosphere and are up to no good, most likely.
Aliens? Possibly. Or, given the location of the sighting, could what Justin and Danielle saw that day be a bit more divine?
The Seguin First Nation are composed of the Anishinaabe people, and they've existed along the Winnipeg River for centuries. And within their mythology, they are star people. The sky is a spiritual realm, and it is believed that when we die, we do return to the sky and ourselves rejoin the stars, which then opens up a can of worms about the potential interactions between extraterrestrials and early civilizations.
Maybe. But according to Danielle, after watching the lights float for 30 minutes,
I don't know what that is.
The once skeptical Justin is now convinced that there is life beyond Earth.
Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens. For real.
When you see something so spectacular, so out of the ordinary, immediately you feel that you are looking at something that would be considered alien or extraterrestrial. And I do believe he's somewhat spot on this.
I'm walking towards it.
They seem to behave and act in a way that isn't natural, in my opinion. And I think they are connected or associated with something that would be considered extraterrestrial.
Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens. For real.
What should you do in the event you witness something paranormal? Here are some tips to get it all on camera. Check your footage, and then check it again. Understand when to push boundaries.
I zended it.
And when to stop. Trust that what you're seeing really is something paranormal.
Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens.
And if you do catch something, email us at submitparanormal@gmail.com. Your footage could be seen right here on Paranormal Caught on Camera.